Other sport news now, and Olympics news. Listen, Andy, if we know one thing about the Olympics, it's that it is a transcendent celebration of humanity, of excellence, and of human competition, and also that you do not f*** with it, Andy. Because if you f*** with the Olympics, Andy, they will f*** with you right back. In fact, those 5 glorious Olympic rings stand for "Do not f*** with us." The US Olympic Committee this week sent out a cease and desist letter to a knitting-based social network for hosting a knitting Olympics. Remember what those rings also stand for, Andy? We ain't about fucking knitting. Now, the incredibly popular knitting social network Ravelry hosted a Rave Olympics, a knitting competition for users that included events like an Afghan marathon and scarf hockey. The knitters were supposed to basically compete in each event whilst watching the actual games on TV. So you can see why they posed a clear, present threat, Andy, to everything that the Olympics stands for. Here is a quote from the actual cease and desist letter, and if you are operating heavy machinery or mending a tile on a roof, I must warn you, this gets very funny very fast. This is how it begins. The athletes of Team USA have usually spent the better part of their entire lives training for the opportunity to compete at the Olympic Games and represent their country in a sport that means everything to them. For many, the Olympics represent the pinnacle of their sporting career. Over more than a century, the Olympic Games have brought athletes around the world together to compete at the Olympic Games and represent their country in a sport that means everything to them. So far, so good, Andy. But here we go. We believe that using the name Rave Olympics for a competition that involves an Afghan marathon, scarf hockey, and sweater triathlon, among others, tends to denigrate the true nature of the Olympic Games. In a sense, it is disrespectful to our country's finest athletes and fails to recognise or appreciate their hard work. But here's the thing that you also need to know, Andy. You don't f*** with the Olympics, sure, we all know that, but you definitely don't f*** with knitters. Knitters don't mess around, Andy. And if you ever step up to them, you would better have a pair of high-end needles in your hand, and you better have come ready to knit. Because they also have 5 knitted Olympic rings in 5 different coloured wools, and those rings stand for "Knitters Don't Play That Shit." Because apparently these knitters were extremely offended by the tone of the letter, and they mobilised. Members of the knitting network left a huge amount of messages on the US Olympics team's Facebook page, nearly melted down Twitter, and bombarded them with a deluge of emails. They went in so hard that, and you are not going to believe this, the USOC backed down. In a statement posted recently on their website, a spokesman said, and again, if you're using a power saw or flying a light aircraft at the moment, you may want to be careful, because this statement could cause you to Buddy Holly yourself into a mountain. The statement said, "Thanks to all of you who have posted, tweeted, emailed and called regarding the letter sent to the organisers of the Rave Olympics. Like you, we're extremely passionate about what we do. The letter sent to the organisers was a standard form cease and desist letter that explained why we need to protect our trademarks in legal terms. Rest assured, as an organisation that has many passionate knitters, we were never intend to make this a personal attack on the knitting community or to suggest that knitters are not supportive of Team USA. We apologise for any insult and appreciate your support." Holy shit, Andy! The IOC wouldn't back down to India over the Bhopal disaster which killed thousands of people, and the USOC just caved to a bunch of knitters.
It's the American dream, John. That is why, as a nation, you can hit baseballs from an inflatable batting cage off an aircraft carrier into a crowd full of jet skiers.